Hello, everybody. I am the Valley Viking, and today I wanted to go ahead and share with you some more fears. Now, I'm going to open this up a little bit differently. I want to talk about my fears first, and hopefully by tomorrow I'll have another scary video. For now, let's go ahead and talk about some fears. Um, this is going to sound weird. I wanted to talk about one of the fears that I hadn't noticed until I had gotten into college. And it's a very different kind of fear. I don't know why I fear this, but um, it just happened one day. I was walking down the sidewalk and I was talking with my girlfriend at the time, who is my wife now. Um, and I was just kind of looking around, looking at all the trees. It was a really beautiful day. No clouds in the sky. The sun was actually in a good setting place, and it was just bright enough to where you can see. Like it felt like it was the morning. It had a very nice air to it, and we had went and gone into a field where there was a bench. Now, I had sat down on this bench, right? And I was just talking to her like I usually do. And I decided to lay back and stare at the sky. Now, doing this, I thought it would be a normal kind of thing, nothing would happen. And I wouldn't, I just thought it was just going to be a nice look, right? But instead, I saw nothing but blue. And that scared me so much. I was staring into the sky and I felt like I was falling. And I kept grabbing the table, like holding on for dear life. And I have no idea why, but it always felt like I was falling up. And I had to maintain a grasp on the bench, which was bolted to the ground. It was the strangest fear to ever feel. And now, if there's a clear sky or if I'm walking down the street and I look up and there's no clouds or anything, I can't look too much because I will be scared. It is such a weird feeling to just have that fear come out of nowhere, and then you just deal with not looking up. Um, and it's not when there's birds flying or there's an airplane in the sky, or it's only when it's completely empty. That's that's when I get scared. um, and then I just don't, I can't look up. That is one of my weirdest fears, but a most common fear growing up, from like 2 to maybe, I don't know, 15, I would swim a lot. I went to training, and I learned how to swim, and I instead of like doing all the normal swimming, I would doggy paddle a lot. Um, but another fear developed, and it only happened at nighttime, when I would do night swims. When you couldn't see into the bottom of the pool, I got very scared because for some reason my mind thought of a giant snail that was lurking underneath, waiting to eat me. Um, and the funny thing is, I'm not scared of snails. Snails do not scare me at all. It was the unknown at the bottom of the pool, and for some reason my mind went to snails. Um, and because of that, I think I developed a fear of the ocean. So anytime that I can't touch the bottom, I get very scared. So, all right, that's enough of me talking about my fears. Let's dive into some fears that we don't know. All right, here we go. We're going to be watching 7 of the rarest phobia you've probably never heard of. by Psych to Go. Um, and I am really looking forward to something that I may have, or maybe that I don't have. Um, let's find out together.
When does fear become a phobia? The American Psychological Association defines phobias as extreme or irrational fears towards a certain stimulus that is grossly out of proportion to the actual threat at hand.
Ooh,
It's when a fear worsens to the point where it starts to hinder our personal, professional, and social functioning. Classified as an anxiety related disorder, phobias are among the most prevalent psychiatric illness in the world, along with depression and other anxiety disorders.
wow.
Some phobias are more common than others. To know more, check out our video titled 7 Common Phobias We All Have.
Oh,
But there are actually quite a number of phobias we don't even know existed. Wondering what those phobias are? Here are 7 rare, but very real phobias you might not know about.
nice.
1. Allodoxophobia. Allodoxophobia is defined as the fear of other people's opinions. It's also linked with a fear of debate, discussions, and confrontations, as well as extreme anxiety and discomfort at discourse and controversy.
Hmm,
People who suffer from this phobia do not want to know or hear about the opinions of others, which can be a problem at school, work, and everyday conversations.
true.
This phobia is so rare that psychologists are still arguing about whether or not it should even be considered a proper phobia at all, since so people are known to have it.
Oh,
2. Decidiophobia, a specific phobia that often co occurs with another anxiety disorder. Decidiophobia is the fear of making decisions, and it's extremely rare.
hmm,
Those who suffer from decidiophobia feel panicked and afraid whenever they're asked to choose something because they don't trust themselves enough to make the right decision.
wow.
As a result, they have a habit of relying on rituals or superstitions to decide, like flipping a coin, consulting their astrology, or asking for signs from the universe about what to do. 3. Nomophobia, a modern day affliction. Nomophobia refers to the fear of being without one's phone. It's usually characterized by anxiety about not having your phone charged, misplacing it, forgetting it, breaking it, or not being able to check it throughout the day. While
Interesting.
66% of the global population shows signs of nomophobia, only a few are actually serious enough to be considered a clinical case in need of therapy.
Wow.
As you might expect, it's especially common among adolescents aged 13 to 18 years old
Hmm,
and was only brought to light in 2013. Before that, it was simply characterized as signs of smartphone dependency and social media addiction. 4.
dang.
Catoptrophobia. Are you creeped out by the sight of your own reflection? There's a phobia for that. It's called catoptrophobia, or isoptrophobia, the fear of mirrors.
Hmm,
Researchers believe this particular phobia may be rooted in religious beliefs or superstitions, as mirrors often serve as portals for ghosts, spirit, and apparitions to appear in many urban legends. It's also commonly associated with witchcraft and satanic rituals. Thus,
crazy.
those who suffer from catoptrophobia avoid mirrors and anything with reflective surfaces at all costs. 5. Chorophobia. Chorophobia is the fear of dancing. Those who have this phobia avoid dancing in areas where dancing usually takes place, like ballrooms, clubs, stages, studios, theaters, and so on.
Hmm,
Being around people who are dancing or watching them dance on TV can also be a nightmare for them.
wow.
Chorophobia is closely associated with social anxiety, fear of embarrassment, and low self esteem. It can also be caused by upbringing. For example, being brought up in a strict household where dancing is prohibited. 6. Ablutophobia. Mysophobia, commonly known as germophobia, is one of the most common phobias in the world. So
Hmm,
maybe it's not such a surprise that its exact opposite falls on the other end of the spectrum. Ablutophobia. Ablutophobia refers to the fear of cleaning, washing, or bathing oneself.
oh,
It normally begins in early childhood. While some of us dislike taking baths when we were still little, there are actually the rare few who never grew out of this fear. Because everyone needs to shower and clean themselves regularly, people who have ablutophobia suffer from poor hygiene, body odor, skin irritation, fungal infections, and a weakened immune system.
oh.
7. Anchrophobia. Anchrophobia is the very rare and extreme fear of wind. It can refer to a wide variety of air related fears, like the fear of drafts, swallowing air, and even being blown away by strong gusts of wind. People who have anchrophobia try to stay away from doors and open windows as much as possible. They
Wow.
feel anxious around windmills, hand dryers, air conditioners, and overhead air vents. Based on a 2009 study, a possible explanation for this phobia is that those who suffer from it have learned to associate wind with tornadoes, hurricanes, and other wind related disasters.
That's
Were
crazy.
you surprised by most of the phobias listed here? These are just a few uncommon phobias being studied further by psychologists and researchers today. There are more unusual phobias that aren't discussed in this video. If you'd like to know more, let us know in the comments below, and we might make a part 2.
Okay. Um, this was really awesome. I love the narrator, and I really love the little artwork that they did as well. Again, that was Psych to Go. That was a really informative and very interesting, like, um, video for me to watch. I had never heard of, well, actually, no, that's a lie. I had heard of one of those. There was the cell phone. The cell phone actually was just barely starting when I was coming out of college, I think. And I had laughed at it then. It's not so funny now to see everybody have a phone, and then it kind of, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, it's just become something that's been so reliant upon. Um, that's so crazy, though. The fear of wind, that's that's very interesting. I I don't know if I've ever met anybody. Well, I guess that makes sense. It's very rare. Um, but it would probably be terrible to have the fear of wind. I mean, just to just be sitting down and then something blows, or you think something blows across the back of your neck or something, and then you get freaked out. Mm-mm, that's crazy. A blutophobia is very. I think I've met a couple of people that might have had that, um, but that would be among the whole time I've been alive. Um, I've only met a couple people, so that's really crazy. I keep using that word. It's very uncommon. The the decidophobia and the arguing one, afraid of confrontation. I can't remember what it was exactly, but I have a very big fear of confrontation. Um, or I actually should say I had a big fear of confrontation because I didn't know how I would handle myself if I ever was confronted. The more, um, the more that I worked at Walmart and the more that I've run into irrational people, I, you kind of get this you get I don't want to say resilience, but you get this kind of effect that says, it's just another one of it's another job or it's another thing you have to deal with. You just have to deal with it. Um, and then decisions, um, that's pretty wild. Now I do stuff like that for fun, like flipping a coin and uh, spinning a wheel, or you know, back in I used to do this thing where if we wanted to go out to eat, or uh, if we wanted to hang out, or and this was in general with like anybody, friends, family, my girlfriend, my wife, um, if we wanted to go anywhere, I had such a hard time making decisions, and I didn't want the weight of being like it was my fault that I chose that place. Like I didn't want that weight on my back, and I hated making those decisions. So a lot of people hated when I would push it onto somebody else, or um, I would put it up to like a coin flip or um, guessing a guessing game, you know. Um, but I guess you just have to make the decision and live with your your choice, and that's something that I've had to develop. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you want to see another one of these videos, please let me know down in the comments below and I will make another one of these videos. They look like they have a lot of fun things to watch. In the last few days, I've been trying to make some stuff towards my movie that I'm going to be making. Um, so if you haven't seen that yet, please go check those out. Um, it's going to be a very short movie. Don't get me wrong, and I have never made a movie before, but I'm going to try. So all right, thank you so much for watching again. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Bye bye.